Alrighty. Hello. It's me, Dr. Johnson. We're here back for another quick trading episode. Let's put together some things. Alright, what we're going to be looking at today is the zone pullback. So, most of you would have seen this or heard of this, but it's worth going over and especially worth trying to show you how to identify them, how to set them up, and how to draw them. So, what we're looking at for a zone pullback is you want to identify a trend. So a good way to identify the trend is we'll draw a channel in. This is a low here. We could draw to that one, but I'll give it a space. Something like that. So this is previous stuff. You can see here, just quickly, we had a downtrend. Yeah. Now the area we're looking at is basically, it's broken the downtrend, starting to flip up. Cool. Contextually, that's what's happening. Also, we've got a little mini, I don't know what you call this, like a channel here. I'll just draw this in just for you to see. Something like this. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to change the color so it's easy to see. But something like that was one. This is another. It broke out of that. Now we're trending up. Okay. So for a zone pullback, we can see here the trend for this immediate thing right now is up. Let's imagine we can only see this much. So here it was trending down, broke up, started making higher lows, higher low here, started making higher highs when it closed above here. So when it closed above here, we put this in, we're definitely trending now, right? And then we pull back, higher low again, higher high. Okay, so what we're going to have a look at here is this is one zone pullback area that I think is worth drawing in. So we had this nice strong move up where it expands. We get a decent push up and we create a zone here. The zone comes from the pullback in an uptrend. So we're trending up, we have a nice move up. We get this pullback here, which forms a zone for us. Here. And then what you end up doing, you see, is you end up coming above here, closing above the zone, which confirms to you the trend is continuing. The nicer the close, the more solid, the better. This looks very strong. We put our entry just above the midway point for a little bit of give, so a little bit above it. If I can take the magnet tool off. A bit above it, somewhere like that. We put our stop a bit below it. And for our take profit, you can go to the top of this very easily. That's like guaranteed. Yeah. Or because it's trending, you can try to follow the trend and go higher. If you look here, this ended up taking the TP perfectly. If you just did this one right here when it triggered. But it did end up going a lot higher. I'm going to put a video out literally just after this talking about holding trades for longer and taking trending trades that can give you a much larger R to R without needing to do too much more. So for the zone pullback, just to go over it one more time, let's find another example. Okay, so we're currently here. This is the live data. Nice move up, pull back here. So that's the very top of the move. I'll use the magnet tool, the very top of the move here to the very bottom of the move here. That's the zone. So if you notice, it never came back to fill this zone. It came above it, closed above it to confirm the uptrend, bounced above it, but never came back into it. Now, what can happen is we could end up getting an entry down here when it comes back to fill this. So entry a little bit above the midpoint, stop below, tiny bit of give here, tiny bit of give here. First take profit could be here, which would be the high of the most recent high before it pulls back, if this is where it pulls back from. And I will play it and we'll see what happens. Okay, we go way higher. Do we end up getting a pullback into this zone? Let's see. Oh, glorious. Absolutely sexy. Oh, just take a moment, please. I mean, I didn't plan this. This is just trading because, naturally. So if you look here, this orgasming, beautiful, incredible moment. Look at that, to the dollar, absolute precision. So it didn't hit the midway point. It instead hit the little gap we gave trade, because we know this little thing happens where it doesn't hit the midway point, front runs it. And that's what happened here. Beautiful. So it tapped it and then pushed up. It hasn't come to our first take profit yet, which is all the way. Shit, this one's 3 out of R. Yeah, this one's already 3 out of R. And if you wanted to go really hard, you could go all the way up here, which is like 7 out of R. Let's just see what happens. Do we hit that? Almost. Not quite. We got front run by a little bit. Hopefully we make it. Yeah. So we definitely cleared it here. So that would be 3 out of R. That's $300. Your next one would be up here for $700, assuming you're risking $100. And 3, 2, 1, pop. Come on. No, that didn't happen. We dumped. So let's see how far up we went. Okay. We only went up to here. Now I wonder why. I wonder why we only went up to here. Well, I know why. I don't need to wonder. Let's have a look. This here starts to change into a downtrend. High or low, but then this is a lower high. This high does not go higher than this. And then we put in a lower low. So trend change. Let me show it to you a bit like this. Maybe you can see it this way. If you look at that, you can see quite clearly it lost this trend line here. So what ends up happening is this is the first beginning of the down move. And in the beginning of the down move, we have this zone that is created, this up move. Because we have a downtrend now, so we're looking for the up moves. The downtrend up move, this up move here got created. Okay, now we don't know exactly where it's going to go. We kind of do. We can now make our short. Okay, just a little bit of gap, a little bit of gap above. Okay, and our TP will be down here. It's 2.79. That's pretty good. Let's see whether we end up hitting it. Oh, how far do we get? Okay, we do hit it. There you go. So we hit it perfectly. And then you end up going to where? There you go. Your TP here would have got hit for sure. 2.79. So in this little run now we've just had, I mean, if you hit that one, you're laughing. This was a fucking, oof. But let's ignore that. Just the ones we saw, 3.02 RR, 7 if you took it to the top, no drums if you didn't, and this is another 2.79. So it's 5.79 off 2 trades. And that's using the zone. So to reiterate, you've got your trend, you get like a solid move. On the pullback, you wait for it to then, you draw your zone, you wait for it to close above it to confirm. Now it's confirmed above. This zone is now valid. You put your entry above the midpoint, stop below the bottom of the zone. And what you use to try to identify it is you want to make sure this zone has not been tapped. So the price came into here, but it didn't tap the midway point. You want to wait. See how it pushes away from it? It didn't tap the midway point. When it finally comes back to this midway point, you do want to be checking to see whether it ends up giving you the entry here. And then the first resistance ends up becoming this new supply zone because of the downtrend that begins to form here. And by the time it's come to here, you can actually see it's basically a downtrend, or the beginning of this, which means when it comes up to here, you can anticipate this will be the first resistance, because this was also untapped. This midway point never came back to get reset. So what happens is the first time the midpoint of a zone gets tested or tapped, the first time, it usually has quite a strong reaction. You can also see here a zone within a zone. For people who like to look for those, doesn't always play out, but can give you some confidence that this zone will get respected, because if you look, there's another little tiny uh, buying candle, up candle, in the middle of this big sell move, which gives you a hint that there could be more people with their orders here in the midpoint of this as well. Okay, so these are a few examples. Hopefully this helps you. One more example. Just say we're here, we're looking at this. The zones we could look at are, you could have this one here. That's one supply here, has not been tapped. Potentially could come up to here. The other one that hasn't been tapped, if you look on this down move here, we create this uptrend, or this up move in the downtrend that did not get tapped. And lo and behold, the absolute middle of this happens to be the top of this. So I would use probably the middle of that, just in case. Well, not in case, but because I think it's possible to come up to here, maybe go through and lick that, and then give you something like that. We can try that. Let's see what happens. Okay, there you go. Boom. So we came to it. This point right here, this midway point, didn't give me my entry here, and then rolled over. So what I should have done, which I didn't do, but this is why we tested, right? This is why you practice it, is if you actually use this midway point, so the lower entry, the middle of this, the first one that I called out, is where the reaction happens. So if you put your stop like that, and you targeted, I targeted near the middle of this. You could target the bottom of this very easily. Look at that. Look at that. 6 RR, juicy. All right, that's all I'm going to do on this zone now. What I'm going to do next is do a quick video on liquidity, which is these areas down here. In fact, if we test my theory based on liquidity trading, stop below here, entry here, target up here. Let's see if this works. Let's go 666. Yeah, okay, so my stop wasn't wide enough here because it came back for one more. Sweet, but it did come back up here. Anyway, this is for another video. This is for liquidity trading, and I'm going to put that on the next video. Hopefully this helped you. Hopefully the zones make sense. If they don't, post a comment, like and subscribe, smash the bell, smash the fucking whatever other button. Please don't. Don't smash the bell. I don't even know what that does. Anyway, thank you. Good night.